Hey everybody, welcome back to Mortgage Ballers. This is Rich Hanlin, and today I have a duo. No, I shouldn't have done it that way. Sorry, let me reverse that one. Duo. I got Tyler Croft and I have Jamie Newman. A lot of you know the name Jamie Newman because she is that person that beats on you on a daily basis to get your Arrive updated. Yes, she has headed that project. She's done a great job, by the way, Jamie. Your team has done a great job. I knew you would. So thank you for that. I've got Tyler Croft on the other side over here, and there's a reason why we have both of them. We're going to talk about something that comes up on every interview. I always ask people, do you do it by yourself or do you use a team? Well, we're going to let these guys explain how they kind of ran into each other and tell their own story. Tyler, welcome. Jamie, welcome. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, talk to me real quick because Tyler, I know you used to do everything by yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple people, but you've kind of been a lone wolf. I get that. How in the world did you come across the Jamie Newman side of this?
Yeah. So I started originating a while ago and I came on in 2023 and I've just been, like you said, just individual contributor, finding my own deals, making my own relationships, doing it all by myself, self-processing a lot of my loans. Did try to hire on, a few processors here and there, and I was still doing 99% of all of it, and I felt for the cost for what I'm getting, like they're inexperienced. Some of them weren't licensed processors, so it was like, or licensed loan officers. I mean, they're just licensed process, so they didn't know the loans as well as we do as, licensed loan officers, and just jumping through all of these hoops to try to find somebody reliable. And then it came down to the point where I was like, all right, I'm going to get my real estate license as well because a lot of these other deals that I'm getting on that side aren't as, great, the quality of leads and whatnot. So I went and I was going to do that for myself. I work with a lot of developers and builders out here, and that kind of turned me into, all right, let's get my real estate license. So I did that just recently, and I had my first deal. Was already, I met Jamie a few times at the UWM, experiences that we've had, and it just kind of meshed well. I found a real estate broker, Equity Arizona Real Estate, with Mike Searcy, and then Jamie was helping Mike on loans and stuff. And I'm like, cool. Well, Jamie's with Equity. I can just join Equity. They're good with us being a realtor and a loan officer on deals. Um, yeah, it's harder to find than you think, to find a brokerage
Yeah, it
that's,
is.
willing to do those things for you. And so I went ahead and signed up, got all that done, and then me and Jamie were working on, the real estate side of stuff, kind of learning from her on that. And then also was like, you know what? Hey, I have this deal. Why don't I'm gonna do it like it's already happening. I got my license and then had a new build deal come across my lap from a friend of a friend, and we went ahead and just we're like, all right, let's go. Let's run with it. Let's do this transaction, see how it goes. And basically, Jamie just slam dunked this file for us. I was still involved on the loan side, but it was really mostly Jamie. She took hold of it and ran with it, and it separated that liability that we wanted on the transaction. It was really great, and we had such a good experience. This new builder, they have a preferred lender that they have to refer everything to. He's been sending me and Jamie inquiries and deals, like all of his sales. We're second in line for everything, and we're typically beating their preferred lender on all of their loans. So on all of the rates and things that they're having. So
Of
that's kind
course
of
you
how,
are.
yeah, right. Why wouldn't we be? Um, so yeah, that's kind of how we like started working together just recently, and we've already closed over 5 deals together. Some of these deals, like me personally, I would have given up on at some point, and having another experienced loan officer on the file with me to like, no, I think we can make this work, and finding the guidelines and doing all the things, and then of course because she runs the compliance department, it's so much easier to do things. Like she's so good at her job, and I have so much trust in Jamie. They just made sense. It makes so much sense to partner with those that you trust, that know what they're doing. And I'm willing to pay more. I'm willing to split deals with, people that know what they're doing versus paying a processor $1,200 and they ruin your file, 2 out of the 3 times that you give them a deal. It just didn't make sense anymore. So that's kind of how we started chatting and, doing some deals here and there. And then now it's like, why don't we just start growing this branch in Arizona? Because she already runs such a great, kind of branch and business in all these other states.
She's
Like, all
got
right,
a
well,
branch, she's got real estate, she's got loans, she's doing
yeah.
compliance. She runs her own business where she takes and trees wild animals before they kill the people that she takes out. I mean, she does a little bit of everything under the sun. And I think she secretly lives at UWM because she was out there so much last year.
Can't get in.
What, because everybody's going there or what's going on?
Like there's a wait list. Like you have to
A
book
wait list? What?
to get out there. So I don't go. I'm on the wait list for April, but I'm scheduled for May. But yeah, it's really hard to get in
A
now.
wait list or a blacklist? And you're on the blacklist.
Yeah.
It's funny. I can get out there no problem. No, I'm kidding. I'm going out there. Got invited. Got a loan officer, Jill McCain. She's going to bring like a group of 12. And she said, Rich, would you meet me out there? I'm like, that's like an hour and a half flight for me. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. And come in and do that and go through their little realtor success track. But she wants me to meet her 12 realtors. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do that. That's an easy flight. I could fly out and come right back. For her, it's an all day thing coming like West Coast people. Like you lose a lot of time doing that. That used to be a tough one.
I should bring you as a realtor, Tyler. Then we can get in for our success.
Let's do it.
Success track. There you go.
Yeah, we can't get our points because we can't get in.
Well, you got to get your points. Here's the thing. Something's going on out there. I could tell you that last September rates dropped. We had our biggest import month historically for Xpert Home Lending. And then it kind of fell off because there was no more rate cuts. I could tell you January 1st hit and boom, like record imports started coming in. We had our second biggest month, January. Then February hit. That became our second biggest month, and January became our third biggest month. And now March is looking like it might be the number one month. I mean, momentum 2 months in a row, let alone going to be 3 months. Something's going on. I think there's a lot of pent up energy. People have just given in and said, look, we just got to make the move because people do not like being stuck in that decision. Like, we want to move. We need a bigger house. Screw it. Let's do it. The values have held for most people. Let's take our equity and let's get on with our lives. And so something's going on out there. I've been sharing that because that's across the board. That's not just like one state. And so I'm trying to tell all the originators, here's a great example. Boulder, Colorado. Last week, I was going to talk to somebody and he said, Rich, I can't talk. I forgot. I started a full-time job at such and such place. I'm like, okay. So it sounds like loans are going to be part-time, if that. And I got it off the phone and I thought, gosh, I wasn't trying to add injury to insult because obviously he's going through a hard time, but I'm like, in that same city as our number 3 overall loan originator, Matt Hardy. Same area, and he's having record back-to-back years, 3 years in a row, and another person's on the verge of filing bankruptcy. And I'm thinking, that what's missing here? There's a missing link of some sort. Now, I want you to think about Jamie. You named off like 6 attributes of Jamie, and that's Jamie I met a year and a half ago or whatever at Success Track. I think it was a year ago last September. I met her first time, and it was her and Megan. I was standing next to him, and I'm like, God, I didn't realize we had such young people. I thought they were like 25 or less. And then she got angry. I'm almost 40. And I'm like going, good Lord, I'm sorry. But I was like, I started talking to her. I'm like, wow, thank you for coming over from Barrett. She started telling me her experiences. And I'm like, after I was done, I'm like, okay, Jamie, you may not see it yet, but I see a top national loan originator. And one of these days, you're going to see it, what I'm seeing. And then she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. So when the time came, I'm like, hey, I have a project and you're the perfect person to handle it. Because I found myself asking her questions about Arrive. Hey, how do you do this in Arrive? How do you do that? And she's like, 2 seconds, she could show me. And she's very good at walking you through it. It wasn't just like I understood what she was saying. And so somebody asked me a question and I said, hey, I don't know that answer, but I know someone who does. And Jamie got on a call with them and their team, and they like, you're only as good as what people say behind your back. And then Lisa approaches me here and she goes, do you have Jamie doing some stuff? I'm like, yeah, I have her doing this, and this, because she knows it really well. And she's like, gosh, I just got a huge compliment from so-and-so on her. And I'm like, I love it. So she goes 100 miles an hour. I don't think she sleeps. She says she does, but I don't think she does.
I know. Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed.
So I get it. I get you're tapping in as well. A lot of people rely on those shoulders, right? She's got a family. She's got her sons. She's doing a lot. She doesn't slow down. And that is what a top person does. Like, she wakes up and she goes. And I'm talking to her. She's like, Rich, I'm on my computer. I'm on my 4-hour drive down into Salt Lake City or whatever. And I'm like, what do you mean you're on your computer at the same time? Oh, well, I'm like, please pull over. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, my laptop's down, not woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. I tried to fix it, didn't work. Boom, I have a new laptop. She's not going. Most people are like, oh my God, you know, maybe I can use my friend's laptop. No, she has too much writing on her. And now I see what's going on over there because she can backfill. She makes me look good. So I understand what you're doing, Tyler, because you are always going 100 miles an hour on your side. We've talked about deals. Like, you ask me stuff all the time. You know, we go to these events and things like that. By the way, I think it's April. We're trying to secure a place. We're coming out to Arizona, to Scottsdale, Phoenix area. Basketball will be over, but I'm sure we'll do something nice. We're getting a venue, but we're going to make sure everybody knows about that. If you're in driving distance, come on out. But that's going to be a full-blown Arizona time. On my end with this, as of January 1st, I'm getting out from behind the desk, and I'm starting to go do what I like to do, which is originate, do real estate, go be with you guys, try and help you guys, make these connections when I hear a need here. And I'm like, oh, I know somebody could fill that need. But here's the best part. And you, Tyler, you tell me. I interview people every single day, every day. Matter of fact, I did 7 yesterday, and I did 5 the day before that. Last week, I did 27 of them. And people are like, that's stupid. Why are you even doing that? What a waste of your time, Rich. And I said, let me answer that for you quickly.
Yeah.
I promise you, I know exactly what I'm doing and what I'm hoping to get out of it. I get to have a one-on-one experience with someone that calls Xpert Home Lending their current place or home, that I'm partnered with them. I get to know them. I get to see them. I get to talk and have a personal relationship. I don't want numbers. That's what all my competitors have. Anybody could do that. I don't need 600 more people that I don't know. I need 600 people that have already trusted us. How can I help them? They're already here. They deserve my best. And my best is getting to know you. And then I hear something. I'm like, oh God, my mind remembers everything. And I remember, I'm like, oh my God, call Tyler in Arizona. He just did something like that. He can walk you through it. He's done it. It's not theory. I know he's done it. Oh, get a hold of Jamie. She's done it. Who's Jamie? Oh my God. Look at those interviews. They're there for a reason. Learn something from these people. All of you guys have these attributes. And I listen to it, and I listen to it, and I listen to the ones that are struggling. I interview them too. You all have the same license, same 8 hours a day. Why is one person succeeding and one person I feel is just getting by, and the other person I think would be considered failing? Something's missing amongst those 3 people. Well, I'm packaging up what I'm hearing, and I'm figuring out, okay, there's a success formula here, and it looks like this. And you can keep fighting it, or you can get with the program over here and start doing it because they've given of their own free time. But Tyler, you can't hold him down for 8 hours. He's got to get his business going. But I did capture an hour of his time. Go watch it. Learn something from it. You just did something that most people I talk to don't want to do. I can't afford to get any help. I can't afford I really need that $600. And I'm like, I like to white glove it, Rich. And I'm like, I have different thoughts about that. But how, take me through your thoughts. You have a life. Do you have any kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you got mouths to feed. You got responsibilities. You got all this stuff. But yet you're willing to give up a little bit of your money. Are you crazy? What have you learned from the old Tyler to this? Something changed that now you find value in that. Talk to me, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, I love the interview thing. I think it's going to open up a ton of doors for loan officers like myself and others, just to be able to see and then connect, like you said, with those other individuals that are doing it. And like, that's what I saw with Jamie, is like, it wasn't from an interview, but it's like you see somebody doing something and you're like, if I'm around that person, or I associate myself with we're in the same company,
Right.
we're all under the same brokerage. I can attached to the habits that that person's doing, if I can learn a little bit from them, it's like the people, what's that saying? If you're around all the people, like the top 1%, you'll be eventually become the top 1% or whatever it is. Surround yourself with people and things that elevate you. So I'm learning every single day. I do every deal I do with Jamie is like, wow, I've learned 12 things, and then I teach her some stuff on construction or, other things. So I really got to a point though, Rich, to answer your question directly. I got to a point in my business where I'm doing a lot of stuff on the outside, like business purpose type stuff with builders, developers, agents, things like that, with land deals and custom construction homes and things like that, to where that takes a lot of time. Like there are 12 months, a year long transactions sometimes. And it's like those eat up a ton of my hours. And I was telling Jamie about a deal that I was trying to negotiate. It was a $5 million capital raise, and we're trying to put together $5 million. I think I've asked you about it before, Rich, about the manufacturing home park, even like,
La
hey,
la
you got,
la la. I don't
I
remember that. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, I need some investors, things like that. And it's like I start working on those deals, and sometimes they come to fruition, sometimes they don't, but they require a ton of attention and detail that these, not to say your transaction, if your, consumer is any smaller, but it's 100 grand versus 25 million. Like there's difference in those
Yeah,
paydays
those are
and
kind of
stuff.
the same.
Yeah, right. But I want to focus on that kind of side of my business a lot more, and really dive into that and like developing. And then that's also why I got my real estate license, so I could start doing it for myself
Hmm.
eventually. And really just like I have some goals in my life that I want to meet for me and my kids. We want to be on, acreage. I'm talking to Jamie about, hey, find me some acreage in Idaho so I can build some motocross tracks for my
There you go.
5-year-old who's starting to, race. I do have three kids though. So I have a 5-year-old, his name's Asher. I have a 10-year-old, his name's Grayson, and then 11-year-old
Woo.
Gabe.
All right.
So yeah, three kids, all boys, and I am constantly going, like you said. And so that on top of we're in sports season right now. So it's like hockey for my middle son Grayson,
Hockey in
motocross.
Arizona? How does that work?
I love
Yeah, right. We lost the Coyotes, but it's been big here for a long time, okay?
All right.
And you know how many Canadians that call me on a daily basis that move to Arizona because they like the weather?
They want the
We
weather.
know hockey down here too, okay? But
indoor
I'll
ice
trust
skating.
you.
yeah, yeah. So hockey for my middle son. My youngest son, the 5-year-old, he does motocross, and then my oldest son, he does football. So I'm go go go. Like weekend Saturdays are like a blinders on. I'm at baseball or I'm at football games. Wife's at a hockey game at the same time, and then there's races. So we'll drive out to Buckeye and do motocross races for my 5-year-old and practices during the week, during the day. It's like so I always have my phone on me. I'm always working on the phone. I pull up a ride on my phone. I have all my stuff. Like if I didn't have that thing, I wouldn't be able to do business. But yeah, that's why I'm willing to pay. I'm willing to pay to keep up with my kids, to keep up with my wife, to keep up, with my family and all the things that I want to accomplish in life. Starting the real estate business, starting to, work with these builders on a consistent basis to where I can keep that relationship just like you are with the brokers and originators that you have, Rich.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do with my clients, right? Like I don't we say, hey, we're transactional based or we're relationship based. Transactional based is great. It earns you a lot of money, but it's a constant revolving door. So if you can have some loyalty, I don't think it's plausible to have 100% loyalty with anything you do in life. You're always going to have turnover. You're always going to have something to do, even with retire. Like when people retire, they don't want to just retire and not have a job or have something to do, right? Like they don't want to just sleep I guess there's some people out there that probably do, but realistically, people want things to do. They want a purpose. They want, that stuff. And it's like, all right, I'm just shifting my purpose is really what it came down to, and I want to be able to have Jamie and then build a team out here that can do these things and support people in the areas that I know and be a resource. Like that's ultimately my goal is to be a resource, and having Jamie on that team is invaluable. Invaluable. So we're actually just talking about it recently about doing like building the branch down here and really skyrocketing how many people we can get down here and how we can grow it and make it, something really cool and offer support like you've never seen on any type of transaction because we have so much experience between the both of us versus construction, real estate, lending, and then our personal lives like dogs, dog training for Jamie, mountain lions stuff. We don't have a lot of that down here. We got bobcats, okay?
No, you have mountain lions and bears. Bears really good.
I know,
Bears
but
really
not
good.
in the
We
valley. Not where I'm hanging
They're
out.
not dragging you out of Phoenix anytime soon.
we we go to
Maybe.
Shello, Arizona for bears. Just
Jamie's like, I'm bringing the
bringing
bears.
the dogs.
Right. Well, you're going to have one small problem, Tyler, I think, on your hands, because there's other people that want Jamie too, right? She's becoming valuable to a lot of people, so
100%. Yeah.
that's a good problem to have, Jamie. Congratulations, because that's most people work their whole lives to try and figure that out, and you're doing it. So congratulations. I see that, and it's well worth it. I try and tap into that energy as well. Having the time zone difference, she knows who to go to now. Like I make one call, this is what I need, and boom, she's on it and doing it. Now I have her talking directly with some of our compliance people like, hey, Jamie, you call, because she can see through versus it's passing through Rich. And it's going like, no, Jamie can handle it. Take the call straight to her. The Arrive thing has been a huge thing. We had 22,000 apps intake and nothing was ever. So we're working on that one. Because there's states like Idaho, states like actually California DFPI. Like you pull a credit report, you better be licensed in that state. They expect you to be licensed if you pull credit. They expect you to let people know what's going on. You can't just leave it open in app intake. Like you had enough information to pull credit, let people know, because that's the only way they know that you closed it out. Like what happened? And for 22,000 deals to be just in app intakes, they're leads. That's really what they are. And I would tell people, go in and move them over to leads. Get them out of the loan side, but that's a flaw with Arrive. Everything comes in as a loan. You have to physically move it over to the lead side. I'd rather see everything come in as a lead and then move it to the loan side. That's something I've talked to him about. I'm like, dude, why are we not doing? And he's like, well, it's easy to do. And I'm like, but multiply what you're saying times 600 people. I'm not talking 2 people in my office where we get 3 deals a month. Like multiply it times thousands of deals, right? I have a 22,000 app problem on my hand.
Yeah.
One of them.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Cool
Oh, I got me on the soapbox there, boy. I started going off. No, I like it. I like it.
He's he's on the good child list now.
He's on the good list. Thank
Clean
goodness.
people.
I got a lot of people on the bad list right now. And they, people in their first life, I've never been on the bad list. I'm like, it's not a bad list. It's just a bad list.
It's not the FBI wanted list, but
It's not the CFPB wanted list. Okay, it's.
That Tyler really likes working with me is that like I get him on the good boy list. Like his stuff is clean. Because
Well, and,
somebody
and
goes in
even
there
before
and does-
that, like Jamie knew, that's kind of also how we were talking too. Because once this compliance stuff started happening, Jamie was like, "Thank you for doing these things on your file." Like I had been doing them from day one.
Yeah,
It was kind of like when you guys first started the Xpert and stuff, and I got on in 23. Shortly after you guys started. When did you start Xpert, Rich?
February 1st, 2022 is when we opened the doors.
22. So like from 22 to 23, like there's processes and things that, as a brokerage, like I see coming from retail and things that weren't quite there. And I was like, all right, I know I have to do these though, because I came from so much structure, in the credit union world and like overly structured, right? Almost. And then you come here and it's like, oh, hey, like, let's go run with the bulls, my friend. And I'm like, great, this is awesome. But I had those habits already built in me to do these things. And I think Jamie, once this compliance stuff started to come out, like, hey, like we need to show this like record. You're already doing it. I appreciate you, and just I remember that because I was proud of myself. I was like, heck yeah, bro. Like I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was a waste of time. Everybody else just lets their files go, like doesn't update them, doesn't do anything. And it's like I just had a feeling internally like that's bad news and I don't want to deal with this in 2 years, and get all of these crazy like phone calls, hey, you got to do all this stuff. So I
And there's a lot of
updated.
people that have done it and came
Yeah,
from atmosphere. I mean, we talk about Barrett and like what they had to do at Barrett. She's like, Rich, we had to do this, this, and this at Barrett. Like, we had to make the CD balance to arrive. And I'm like, I don't need that. I just need to make sure the fees are right, the interest rate's right. And they're like, ooh, she had the shakes. Like, are you sure you don't? I mean, to the
yeah,
penny is what Barrett requires, or you're not getting paid type of thing. And I'm like, well, I don't know that I need it hardcore like that. It's like, why do we're very repetitious in this industry. I need the docs. I need Arrive to match the docs that match the lender. And I always think, what do we give a shit? To be honest with you, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that on air. I'm not editing it out. But here's the thing.
you
Are
can
you
believe it.
serious? We do all these loans through the lenders, but yet I'm going to get written up as a broker if I don't hold a copy, if my Arrive's not right. But there is nothing wrong. Like, all the problems happen on the loan side. But now, because of TRID, it's like, well, we can't find anything wrong because no one's getting screwed at the end. So let's go after unlicensed business. Let's spend, and that's where all the money's at. Let's get not just unlicensed business. Let's figure out who's pulling the credit. Let's go even deeper. Hey, you know what, Rich? I want to see who pulled the credit. I want to see if they have a license in the state. Because why would Tyler pull an Alaskan credit report? Well, that's unlicensed business. I mean, they're getting absolutely ridiculous. I'd rather them just call up and say, hey, it's January. Will you send me $20,000? Here you go. Let's get
Right.
back on, because nobody was defrauded. There's no criminal activity. And this is all you're doing? Gee, thanks. Thanks for the wonderful industry that we've created, but God bless TRID. I am not happy with the changes that have taken place. They have made this all about money, and each state individually operates. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why can't I have one license that covers all states? My interest rates are the same from West Coast to East Coast. You got 30 years experience, Tyler, and how dare you quote an interest rate in Alaska? You're not licensed there. That's unlicensed business. And it's like, okay, hey, Mr. Alaska guy, I'm not licensed in Alaska, but let me tell you what the rates are today in California for the scenario you're after. That's legal. But as soon as I don't say that and I act like I'm licensed, and I'm like, well, that's a $3,000 fine. Um, so many people in our industry are afraid of a fine. They're afraid of getting that call from examiner.
Yeah. It's like
I'm numb
scared
to it
straight.
now.
Like,
It's going to happen. It's going to happen 20 times a year, and they're going to find something wrong because I'm not perfect. We have lenders that we can't even get the docs after the fact. That's why we made the change January 1st. Got to get the docs on the front side. Trying to go backwards is impossible. And
it's
guess what? I'm
crazy.
going to have some fines, and they beat the crap out of me. Lesson learned. We are growing so fast that it's like, okay, I'm going to pick and choose my battles. Because here's California. I've got more loans in California than I do anywhere. I got thousands of loans. They're going to ask me for 50 of those loans. I'm going to take my chance and say, okay, here's 3 years worth. There's 12,000 loans here. Which 50 do you want? And they're going to go randomly pick 50, and I'm going to pray to God that I have packages on those 50. I'm like, oh God, you're putting that on. Yeah, because the system is broke. The lenders out there are still dealing in DOS. Like, you really can't hold on to a package one day after it closes, but UWM can hold them for the lifetime of, like, for every loan I've ever done. Kind can do it. I'm like, what is the capacity? Maybe some of these people, like anything else, shouldn't be in the industry. If you're not going to invest and protect me for doing business, maybe you're not a good partner to do business with. We don't need 126 lenders. We need 126 that do it right. And if they don't, we're starting to pull off of those relationships. Not all lenders are in our best interest, as Jamie's learned.
Yeah.
We were literally having this conversation last night.
Yeah, and there's like we have a lender I've done business with, Oak Tree, and I've done a few DSCR loans. Their pricing is so great on DSCR loans. Like, but it's spotty, right? Like 1 week they're amazing. Like so competitive, like I can't even get close. Like over half a point sometimes or more. And it's like,
And
yeah,
who is
this is
that? Do you say Oak Tree?
Oak Tree Funding. Yeah,
Oak Tree. Okay.
Hasso is our AE.
Giving them a shout. Giving them a shout out. Oak
Shout out
Tree
to Ty,
Funding.
dude. He's great. We don't. I mean, and that Xpert doesn't do a ton of business with them, but
But he's a
I've
good
found
bean.
them. We've called. I've made it, and this is something that I prided myself on when I first got on with you guys. Is I called all of our AEs on that approved lender list. You know how
God
many
forbid.
answered and how many actually responded to me? Probably like maybe 30 out of the 100. And I can tell, yeah, it was bad at first, but I made sure when I needed a loan, those 30 got the option. They got an option, and I was shopping. And as a good, when I think of, hey, a mortgage broker, I'm like, they're shopping that loan for me. They're doing their job. They're doing their due diligence on the rates in the market. They're doing those things, and that's what I've been doing, you know? Like, I
Great
granted
job.
UWM captures a lot of our business, right? Because the rates were great. They give it, there's the incentives, there's all of the things for us to go there with being correspondent. Like we can get better rates, like we can do those things for our clients, especially when the market was, yeah, especially when the market was, bad for us. Like it was really hard. Like we were cutting our comp like huge to get deals just to make sure we're still doing business. And it's like, I I can't do that forever, you know. Loan officers can't do that stuff forever to support our families and still have jobs and whatnot. But there was a point in time where if we didn't, we wouldn't have anything, you know, we wouldn't have loans. So it was just kind of a cycle where we were shopping all these different lenders and stuff, and again, finding those one or two that we don't do a lot of business with, but they really do have decent processes. They're not terrible to work with. The AEs are helpful,
Hmm.
and every now and then you need a loan from them, and it's like, so having them on board I think is invaluable. But I also do think, like you said, trimming the fat. Like there are AEs on our list I can tell you I would never send a deal to. Um, and it's unfortunate because it's mostly because they don't pick up their phone. I'm a over the phone kind of loan officer. If I have a deal and I want to vet it, I'm going to call you and I'm going to grill you on your guidelines. I'm going to grill you on your overlays. I'm going to grill you on your stuff to make sure I understand when I send you this deal, it gets done. And if I can't trust you by the first three phone calls we have vetting this deal out, it's not going to go to you. Even if you have a better rate, it's not going to go to you because I'm going to tell that borrower, I'm talking to them, give them the option. I have a really good rate. I've never done business with this person. I've never done business with this
It's okay
lender,
to say that.
but they have a really good rate. I also don't know what's going to come up during the transaction though, because I've never done business with them. And I've had it in the past where we get one thing, we get in there, oh yeah, there's this overlay. Oh yeah, there's this guideline. I don't have time to read through 30 pages of guidelines with these AEs every transaction. There's no way. So I'm trusting them to know their job and know their product and know who we're doing business with. And if they can't, they don't get a deal. And granted, not all my deals are great. Some of these A's just don't want them, which is fine. That's okay too. If you can't do it, you don't want it. I don't want to send it to you either. I want an AE that's hungry, that wants it. And I know we don't do business with them anymore, but Cardinal was on there, and I've sent them a deal. My first deal I sent to them was audited. It was terrible. It was a terrible experience. And this was not the file to audit. It was not the one.
When Tony Bavacqua, if I say his name right,
Or something.
yeah, he's old school, but when he was our AE at Cardinal before they made some changes, like he would fight that stuff for us, and they became our number 2 lender. And then they started to make some changes, and he said, "Rich, I can't do this no more. Like they're making changes. I'm going to leave." And I'm like, "Tony, wherever you go." So we already had, was it Resi Central? I'm like, that's where you're going? Cool. Let me call because we don't do any business with them. I'm going to make you the AE. And we had a good AE that replaced them, but it just wasn't the same because now Cardinal was different. All of a sudden they were auditing everything. What's a red flag to some people? Like California, it takes sometimes 3 generations to buy one house, have all of them in the same house. And they're like, this, something weird's going on. All these people aren't, it's like, no, that's common in the Bay Area because the average cost is this, but look what these people make. It takes all their income. Well, no one does that here in, Detroit. And it's like, but they do it all day long here. They do it all day long in like New York in certain areas where it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And what's a red flag? And I'll be honest with you, if we were to take every 100 files, there's going to be at least one red flag. But the red flag, if I were to have 100 QC audits, usually only one turns out to be a legitimate issue. The rest are just a red flag. But what people don't understand is some lenders, the underwriter finds the red flag and you deal directly with the underwriter, and with their knowledge, they solve it right there. Well, UWM makes it sound a little scarier, like, oh, this has been, moved up to the auditors, and they found, and it's like, no, all it is they have these underwriter twos and they have underwriter ones, and underwriter two came across something that's an overlay to them to sign off on, and it gets upped, and then this person over here under the audit says, I got a QC audit, I need to double check. It looks like, are they really moving? We found that they were once, I'm not kidding. We did a search and we found that at one point in time that the buyer actually worked at a restaurant where the seller was. And you're like, what? Like, where do you find that stuff? And it's like the person, you're like, I didn't know, but were they I didn't know they owned the restaurant. I was like 16 years old. Like, okay, they have such good stuff. They can dig deep. UWM has software I've never seen. They can pull up and say, hey, Tyler, I appreciate these bank statements. Something's not right with them. We're showing that the balances don't match. And I'm like, where do you get that stuff? Where are you seeing that stuff? I've seen more fraud in the last 3 years because of high rates. A lot of people saying, I'll take the chance. Because how many people do you hear getting prosecuted? They just get, hey, we're not going to be able to do your loan and you can never come back to UWM again. Could they be prosecuted? I guess they could. They don't prosecute. You never hear about, 27,000 borrowers were prosecuted today by the FBI for committing mortgage fraud. We don't hear that. Most of it's caught. Our jobs, we take our borrowers at their word. If we see red flags, we question it. But if there's no red flags, hey, I need your bank statements. They look good to me. Hey, I need your pay stub. They look good to me. We did a VOE. Guess what? They said you do work there. So it's like, okay, I guess here we go. They ask me all the time, what's your QC audits on the front? And I'm like, I'm a broker. I don't do QC audits. What are you talking about? I do post-close audits. The lenders do the QC audit. Oh, well, we need to be better on the front. We need to know you're protecting us. I'm like, I get a borrower. They hand me paperwork. I look through it real quick. If it meets the needs and I don't see a red flag, I move it on to you guys. And then your eyes look at it. And sometimes you guys catch some that we don't. A lot of those QC audits, it's through software that they find it. They're not catching it, so how was I supposed to catch it? Yeah. I don't have software to check people's deposit. I had people, Cardinal, do you do verification of deposits on everybody? I'm like, absolutely not. Why would I? You guys take bank statements. Back in the day, we used to do that, but we haven't done that in like 20 years. Like, what are we talking about here? Well, maybe you guys should do that. And I'm like, well, maybe I should go back 20 years in the industry and do it the old way. Then what are we doing here? What's TRID about? Are we ever going to get to this point? I mean, good Lord, your customers and my customers, they sign 150 documents just to close on a transaction, and then they got to ice their hand for 4 days, right? Why can't we just put a thumbprint and be done? Read the note. You've already had 3 days to sit on it, 6 days if it's a damn refinance. And now you got to sit there and sign 150 pages, all because you got to acknowledge that what your interest rate is and what the loan amount and what the payment is. What is all the backfill? It's just ridiculous. Boy, you got me on a soapbox today. Let me get my violin out.
Bro, yeah. So the biggest thing, and I remind my clients about this too a lot, and like the CFPB is there to protect consumers, right? So if there's something unethical that we or a lender or anybody in the business is doing, if it's hurting a consumer, it is unethical, and that is the problem. It's always about the consumer, because I do a ton of business purpose loans. There's no regulation.
No regulation at all.
Nobody cares, right?
They call that the black market.
Because it's a business, and it's because, hey, it's under an LLC or whatever it is. Like the reasoning is, whatever have you, but realistically, there's no consumer doing it, and that's the differentiation between, hey, this is a red flag. Well, is it hurting the consumer? No, it's not, and that's why you're like, hey, 99.9% of the time, the consumer is not hurt by this. More than not, they're benefiting, right, from whatever's going on in the background. And not say we do any of that, right? Like, we're all ethical here. We all do our business appropriately and, by the standards that we know. Like, if I wouldn't do it myself, I wouldn't tell my clients to do it. And I don't advise my clients to do anything. Realistically, I give them their options. I look through their stuff, like you said.
Yeah.
And I make sure there's nothing there. If there's a question, I have them answer that question. Most often than not, we got to get it in writing with an email or a letter. But there's always that verbal conversation of, hey, like, this is coming up. It's probably going to get asked. Do you have an explanation for this? And that's the difference between a great loan officer and a good loan officer is did you see that red flag? Did you ask that question? No? Okay, that's fine. But do you have, the ability to get the answer in writing for us so we can move this on and get this thing done? Yes.
Underwriters don't want to be the one that catch your red flags. They want to know. I love sending like underwriter letters like, hey, I want to introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. This is what they're trying to accomplish. You're going to notice these 2 red flags. You might notice more, but I noticed these, and I just want to bring them to your attention right now. Da 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 da. And I've had underwriters go, "Hey, man, I appreciate you doing that. I wouldn't even have caught that, Rich, but thanks for bringing it up, and thanks for the information." In other words, your loan. Hey, I want to point out that I did. This is how I calculated the income. I want to explain the income to you, exactly what I did, and they're like, "Wow, okay, that's good." I mean, because Bolt. UWM uses Bolt. You can upload into it and it'll pre-underwrite. Everything's done automated now. But sometimes AUS doesn't work. And then my question to people is, well, why didn't it work? Well, debt ratio is probably too high. Well, how do you know that? Did you jack the income up and see if it worked? Because I've had times where I'm like, man, I've got like a 30% debt ratio and it's still not taking it. Okay, let's go back to the normal debt ratio and let me pick up another month of reserves. Oh, shit, look at that. It was the reserves. It didn't, whatever reason, it didn't like the reserves. Thinking through things, sharing it with your clients. I like what you're talking about, how hey, I'm a broker. I've got these options. I do have this one option. It'll save you 0.5%, but it's a little bit unknown. But my challenge when I do that is I'm also that conversation is with the realtor, because sometimes I'm like, hey, realtor and borrower, I can do this. I haven't used them before, but man, they're sure offering something good. I know it'd be great for him, but what kind of time frame are we under? You want to close in 15 days? I don't think they can close in 15 days. I don't know anything about him, so I don't trust that.
Yeah. It's a reputation.
I think you want to get the deal done and not loot. Rich, I'm saving $50,000 on this deal. Then let's don't mess with it. You're already benefiting. Let's get it done, because I know I can get it done here and I can control it. I can do the docs. I can do the CD. I can, and so I have a lot of people say brokers' responsibility are to get the lowest rate, period. And I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
That's my job is to know. I have lenders that have the lowest rates, and we've broken their system because there's 5 people that actually work in that office. Will you send them 100 loans? They shut down. I have lenders that are scalable. We were doing, 7,000 employees at UWM. Go down the list and you're like, okay, how many does Remen have? How many does Kind have? How many? And as the volume starts coming up, they're going to have to expand with it. UWM always carries the most. How did Xpert come about? How did Rich go from 12 people to 150 at the last one? Now this one's, I have an expandable lender that can grow with me. I can't break their system, but I have broken other systems. Ditech called me. We want all your business. Oh my God. And I'm like, dude, we do purchases. If you can't come through, you're going to have some angry people. We can handle it. We were doing like 400 at a time. We gave them 100 deals in 1 month. The AE called up and was crying. You got to stop. We can't handle it. I'm like, we had this conversation. They were eating these guys alive because they were not meeting their close of escrows. And I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, baby Jesus Mary, come on and help me, because I was getting every one of those irate phone calls because we were not delivering. You want to delve in purchases, close your deals on time. Otherwise, don't go there. Make it happen. It's a priority every single day to make sure that your purchases close on time and protect your realtors on both sides. You protect the sellers. I had a transaction. Our transaction triggered 7 more behind it. We had 7 realtors calling us. Why are docs not net? I was like, oh, Lord, I have mercy.
Yeah,
they tried an experimental lender.
Yeah, and it's a testament to like an AE that knows their stuff, too. It's like if you're an AE and you know your company that you're working for well enough, and you've vetted, the guidelines and the products and the changes when they come up, you're communicating those changes, and you're in the know for what your products are, you probably we wouldn't have had that experience, right? If
Yeah.
the AE was just a little bit better. They'd have been like, hey man, like I want the business, but I do want to set an expectation. This is our first couple deals. Send me 20 and let's see how we do. And then let me blow you out of the water with these 20. And then you can just offload on me. Once I know we can handle this, but and a good AE, I think would have had a good eye for that, right?
I've
And
had
not saying
companies
that it needs
scale
to be
just off of the amount of business that we're willing to give them. They're like, we're going to build you a team just for your company. A lot of places we have our own teams
yeah.
because we can supply a volume. They're like, we are going to cater just to you if you'll do this for us. And it's like, I'll do that. That's a priority I'm looking for. But when you put me in general population, with my 100 deals and everybody else is giving you one, and you say, well, I have no relationship, so you got to earn it. And I'm like, I just hand you 100 deals. I can turn a switch and hand you 100 deals tomorrow. I can turn a switch and hand you 600 deals tomorrow. Could you handle those deals? So I tell people, be careful what you ask for. I'm going to blow you guys away, man, and we're going to get all your business. I'm like, do you know our company does more business than your whole company nationwide? Do you understand who you're talking to right now when you say something like that? And they get all mad at me, and I'm like, no, I love that you're saying that, but am I just on your list to call, or do you really know who Xpert Home Lending is?
It's the power of wholesale,
You
man.
know,
Like you see in wholesale, and that's
dialing
what
for
I
dollars.
learned. Dude, yeah, that's what I learned coming from retail and like the credit union world is it's so small compared to wholesale. And just sheer volume and the amounts of transactions that you can see in wholesale versus going retail. Like it's so much smaller. Like they can only do so much. They're one lender. There's this being able to spread that out between, hundreds of lenders or even if it's five lenders, it's just 20x is everything you do. And so I think that is truly, like you said, that's your value. Like, I mean, I see 600 deals, I see 1,000 deals, whatever it is. Like, it's pretty easy to do that in this side of the industry, right? But they don't know that, and that's something I learned coming from there. Was like I had no idea, like zero clue, coming from a retail space going to wholesale what it was going to be and the difference. Not only experience wise, like how much more experience I've gained just by learning new products over the last 2.5 years, like products I never even thought were possible. Like they've drilled into your brain so hard that that is not even a thing, or they just don't know it's a thing. So like, what are you talking about? um and we get calls from clients, and I was sending so many people away at that shop. It was like I that's why I left. I was like, I'm sending so many deals that I know are probably doable. Like there's definitely a product out there for this. I just don't have access to it. I don't have the right people with me. And so this was, to me, one of the best moves because of that. And then vetting the AEs, those was like my first switch to do, because I'm like, I know they're salespeople. That's their job, is to get you to send them deals. That is not their job to get it across the finish line. The job to get it across the finish line is all the people behind them. If they
Yeah.
don't know who they work for or who they work with, or like how the process goes, no thank you. Like I'd rather talk to my clients and be like, this is a great deal, but have you ever heard the horror stories
Yeah.
You get
about a mortgage loan? I'm sure you have. Well, this is probably why. Because they got a really good sales guy, but they have a terrible back office,
Mhm.
or whatever it is. And not to shoot all lenders in the foot. We have really good ones like Tony. Tony, like you mentioned him earlier, he was instrumental. Like he is so great at follow up. I can't answer all of his calls because, because he
None
calls
of us
so much.
can. None of
Yeah,
us can.
because he's so good at it, right? But and that's the thing though. But he knows his products, and if he doesn't know, he gets you an answer. Like
Yeah,
he
he does.
gets into the file for you, keeps you on your radar. Like he's so personable and good at his job. Like I would trust Tony with a file.
I
You
agree.
know, if his pricing was,
I'm going to be interviewing him here pretty quick. We're going to do
yeah,
our top AEs interviews.
good, yeah. I mean, he's perfect for it. And there's definitely those people in the business that we trust and we work with and we want to do business with. And it's like, I mean, I'm not a top producing LO, right? Like I'm an individual contributor trying to grow from here and then hopefully become, branch and do all that. Like I'm in growth learn mode for the next couple of years, I'm sure. But um, all in all, like I don't do bad with my business. I think me and Jamie were trying to look it up last night. It was like 10 million just Arizona, I'm not in multiple states. Well, now we're getting me and Jamie are getting licensed in California because I have a California client that needs some deals done. They're gonna, rent their house. We gotta get some equity out and then buy another house here in Arizona. So I'm venturing into California. Jamie just got licensed in California. She's ready to go. I should have mine next week, hopefully. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna start crushing it. So
I like it.
gonna grow and grow and grow, but ultimately what it comes down to is we know our stuff, we know where to go, we know how to vet people, we know the questions to ask, and that's what makes, I think, our team here very valuable. And we're gonna build something, Rich, I think is gonna be great for Expert,
I like it.
in full. Like we're gonna want to share everything we're doing.
I'm all for entrepreneurship, believe me.
Yeah, we want to like build this branch out, kind of like what's his name, big VA guy.
Evan
Uh,
Kaufman?
Evan, yeah, Evan, just like him. Like he's done amazing, like with his stuff. Like he's doing great. And I hear about all the cool tech he has and all the things he does on the real estate and this side. Like I aspire to a lot of the other, loan officers, originators, branch managers
All
here.
that stuff started with just an idea too, right? And then
Yeah,
Rad CRM started with a conversation that was an
yeah,
idea, and it's like, nope. And
yeah.
everything you're saying. Number one, I didn't mean to keep you guys on this long, but you're my first team that kind of came on
Okay.
together to talk about that, because I get a lot of individuals. I get people that talk about their teams in the back, but you're the first one to bring Jamie with you. We're going to have 5 other people bring Jamie with them. It's like, okay, everybody's bringing Jamie. Um, but the
Hey,
power of this,
I got it
you're
first.
explaining it, what you're trying to do, your time, your family, we only are blessed with so many hours a day, and we have to leverage that to our advantage or our disadvantage. And all these gurus say it differently, but basically, when you can spill off some things to Jamie has helped free up my time with some of the stuff that she's taken a ride completely off my plate. I used to do everything that Jamie was doing. Justin and I would do that. We need 300 loans updated by Monday. Guess what? All weekend long, we're doing it. Now we spread that out amongst 5, 10 people, and they are good at what they do. And boom, they're done. And now it's getting to where it's just automatically done because I knew it was going to be a transition. Arrive has reports that you can run, and they're very powerful if your information's correct, but it's only as good as what's in there. So we're all getting better. We're all growing. I want to say thank you to both of you for number one, taking a chance on each other, stepping outside your comfort zones, and because you could always go back to doing it by yourself, but you never know the freedom of what someone can do. And some people are like, hey, I have an assistant, and I find out they're doing everything still because, well, I like to do my own insurance. I like to do this. I'm like, I call it Brittany and I say, Brittany, here's a name and a phone number. Here's an application. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what they're trying to accomplish. Take it anywhere you want to go. Try and keep the fees right around here. This is what I told them in rate. Set it up. Let's roll. She'll call me if there's a problem, and she rolls with it. I give her a bigger piece of the deal because she does more for me. But I don't have time to do all those little things. And that's probably one of the best parts about Xpert. It's forced me to say, Rich, you don't have time to sit here and process loans all day. I need to be available to you. I need to be available to you. And I need to be available to this company. I want to be better as well. I'm no different than you guys. And I have to get outside my comfort zone. I got to do the things that I've done a lot of things over the years to get business. I've done a lot of things to grow companies. Even those micro companies within a company, like what you're talking about, there's a lot of power in that. And it builds these strength pillars underneath a company versus all these individuals. And some of these individuals by themselves are very strong. But I'm proud of both of you for stepping out. Jamie, I've been really proud of you. Thank you so much for all you're doing for Xpert. A lot of people, the ongoing weekly training, that has been huge. And we knew it was going to be a 6-month thing, like going into it. And I wanted you to do it so everybody would be mad at you rather than me. No, I'm kidding.
Not too many
Honestly,
people
I
have
know
gotten that
so many people that have been like, Jamie's been instrumental in this. And like, I get calls from other loan officers too asking about construction stuff. Because, like you said, there's, questions asked on the Facebook groups and all those things. And whenever there's a construction one, I love answering those because I have a construction background. I work with all of those types of, individuals, and I've closed quite a few of them so far. I mean, a lot more than probably anybody else here, at least in Arizona.
That'd be great to have a get together where you just talk construction and teach people, because maybe they could partner with you when they come across that stuff of why to partner.
Yeah, I would love it. And that's one thing, I hope me and Jamie can kind of build out here is like
Well, I've got two in
letting
mind.
me focus on that. And we could literally just build a branch like and be construction focused. We could be, I don't know, focused on whatever we need.
Some of the best ideas I have, I was going one direction and I met somebody and they kind of, hey, that's a better, I had this idea, but makes it a little better. This makes it a little better. And I wasn't so rigid to say, because if I was rigid, I would still have 10 loan officers being a smaller shop. But someone's like, hey, that plan works pretty good. Why don't you open it up a little bit? Ooh, how will I do that? I don't understand. But now there's over 600 and I'm like, okay. People are like, how do you control 600 people? I don't. They're incredible people. That's just it. I don't control them. I get out of their way. Yeah.
Them, they're probably not a good fit.
Right. I try and help them do whatever they're trying to do because they all have different ideas of how to do it. I'm not looking for a bunch of robots. Direct lenders, I think, sometimes just want robots, and that's fine. That's their business model. It's just not mine. I want entrepreneurs, people that there's no limitation on Tyler for where you want to go other than the limitations you put on yourself.
Yeah.
Same with Jamie. It's only 100%. Those limitations. All right, guys, I've kept too much of your time. I'm going to go and close this out. I'm going to say thank you, Tyler, so much for your time. Tyler Croft out of AZ, soon to be in California. I got Miss Jamie Newman out of multiple places. Hey, give a shout out. Are you the one you guys using DBAs or anything like that?
Yes, I use Croft & Co Lending is my DBA from.
Say that one more time.
Croft & Co Lending.
Croft & Co Lending. And Jamie, what do you got?
A DBA. I'm just me. I know. I'm just me.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
She'll be with Croft & Co. We'll be doing a branch in Arizona here soon. So
she's going to have Hounds Maiden.
Yeah,
I do have,
He does have Hounds Maiden.
I do have Hounds Maiden, but that's more doggy stuff, Like
hey, I had some the other day called Dog Mortgage Company or something like that. We have a DBA named that, and I was like, oh, okay, because she rescues dogs, and I'm like, right on. Was that Jury? Jury was the one doing it. Wait a minute, was it Jury? Or was it Tammy Metzger? I can't remember off the top of my head. It's one of them. I'm doing their video, but it's going to be on there. And I was like, right on. I love it. Well, guys, I want to say thank you for your time. I know you're in different time zones. Thanks for getting up early on your time to just spend a little time with me. I love getting to know you guys. I love getting to hear where you're doing, what you're doing, how you're doing it, your growth, your thought processes. Both of you bring a lot of energy into a company. Just want to say thank you to both of you for your partnership, helping make Xpert a better place. So with all respect to both of you, a heartfelt thank you from me to you. Just wanted to say that.
Thanks, Rich. We appreciate you too.
All right. Like we always say when we close out an incredible interview at the Mortgage Ballers with Rich Hanlin, and we got Tyler Croft, we got Jamie Newman. We say it like it is. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Nice.